Shut up!
Welcome back to Conversations with Carol and Cheryl. Hi, Carol. How are you?
Hey, Cheryl. I'm doing well. Thanks.
Carol, today we're going to talk about season 1 of the much talked about Netflix series called Love is Blind. Did you watch it?
I sure did.
Did you enjoy it?
Against my will, but I enjoyed it.
Good. I watched it too, and it was very entertaining. So I'm just going to give everybody a brief rundown for those that have not watched it. This is a reality dating show, which they refer to as an experiment. The purpose is to match people without seeing each other. What they did is they created 2 housing areas, probably in a big warehouse or whatever they do. They work their magic. One side is all women, the other side is all men. And then in the center, they've created these comfy, cozy little pods with a love seat, a throw, some drinks so they can get comfortable. And one pod is a woman and the other pod is one man. And they talk to each other and they ask all the questions that they would want to ask their future spouse, I guess. They talk, they laugh, they ask questions, and see if they don't fall in love. As a result of that experience in the pods, 6 couples resulted. 6 guys actually asked 6 women to be their wife. First couple is Mark and Jessica. Mark is a fitness trainer. He's 24, and Jessica is 34, and she's a regional manager. Second couple, Cameron and Lauren. Cameron was a scientist, and he was 28. And Lauren is a content creator, and she's 32. The third couple was Barnett and Amber. Barnett is an engineer at 27, and Amber, a couch surfer, her own words, with 8 years of military service as a tank mechanic, and she is 26. The fourth couple, Damian and Gigi. Damian is a general manager at 27, and Gigi is a business owner at 25. The fifth couple, Kenny and Kelly. Kenny is in sales at 27, and Kelly is a health coach. She's 33. The sixth couple is Carlton and Diamond, and he is in social media marketing. He's 34, and Diamond is a professional basketball dancer at 28. Carol, you want to start with Mark and Jessica? What did you think of the show?
It took me maybe an episode to get into it and to get a feel for what they were doing and for them to build the characters, for me to get attached to the people, to either like them or dislike them. But it got good fairly quickly. For Mark, because he's 24, he came across as very mature, a very old 24. But I know my son, who's 22, is not that mature and cannot really wrap their hands around marriage and what all is involved. But I liked him a lot. I think I liked him more than you did. We'll find out. Jessica, I could not stand in the beginning, middle, or end. She just annoyed the crap out of me the entire time. What was your first impressions of Mark and Jessica?
Mark, I don't know if aggressive is the right word, but that guy wanted to be married so badly. To me, it almost seemed like it didn't matter to who. He just wanted to be married. Jessica, when she started the very first time, I was like, this voice is ridiculous. And 2 guys were like, I love your voice. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. Yeah. She rubbed me the wrong way in the beginning, but then I ended up liking her very much. I thought she asked a lot of good questions of him. I thought she was the most realistic. I found her pretty funny. So I ended up liking her a lot at the end. I think Mark I don't think it mattered who was in that other pod. He wanted to get married.
With Mark and Jessica, first of all, there is a reason that somebody so beautiful as Jessica, and if you love her voice, she's a beautiful person visually to look at 34 and she's still single, that's a big red flag right there. Obviously, she's had many opportunities with men to get married by the time you're 34, if you look like that. Questions that she was asking Mark, I thought were stupid. They were like stupid excuses because you don't really want to marry this guy. You really want to marry Barnett. And if Barnett had asked her to marry him, she would not be worrying about an age gap. She would not be worrying about a prenuptial. She just was so critical and so illogical. And the stuff that she was asking of Mark, yes, he came across as kind of needy, but I don't think he was. I think he was trying to mitigate her risks and put her at ease and just to say, don't worry about it. Age is not an issue.
I thought it was considerate. I thought she's like, I was 24 once, done a lot between now, 24 and now. And she said she had dated a guy that was 41 and that she felt like her life was fast forwarded when she dated him. Mark said, do you think that's what's going to happen to me? And she said, yeah. No matter what she said, he was down for it. Well, what about this? That's okay. That won't be a problem. Well, what about this? I love you no matter what. That's not going to happen. It was too much. To me, I thought he was insincere. I think she picked up on that. And I love that she called him out that no matter what she said, he would always reference his mom.
I thought that was so sweet. As a mom, come on.
But you don't want to be competition with the mom. Get married, you want your husband to be all about you, but still respect the mom.
I think when you're making six figures and you're a regional manager and you're 34, you want to be dominated. You don't want somebody that's a yes man. You want somebody that's going to stick up to you and be a little bit combative and maybe agree with you a little bit that, hey, yeah, there is an age difference. This could be a problem. The other couples did not get into this peppering of concerns.
Yeah, that's why I thought she was very realistic.
I agree, but I don't think she wanted to marry him from the day one. She said yes on a rebound from Barnett. She never wanted to marry Mark. But why do you think she said yes?
She said it. She goes, I came here for the experiment, so I'm going to see it through. And, a lot of times you'll hear somebody say, oh, I was engaged to somebody else, and I ended up meeting this person, and then we got married. So I thought she was like, you know what, maybe, I'm in love with this guy. Barnett's really the guy for me. But what if this is fate? What if because Barnett picked somebody else, I'm actually going to find the love of my life? I mean, that's what she was there to do. I thought she did the right thing. I think that was smart.
She said yes on the rebound, and then she should have gotten out of it somehow. And then I did read later. She did try to get out of the show. I think her dog swallowed a stick and it got lodged in her dog's stomach. The dog was going to die. It had this emergency surgery. And she knew at that point she did not want to marry him. I think they sign a contract that once you say I do, you got to go to the altar to make the show a little bit more dramatic and to draw people in and play the game, to make the show interesting. That's where I give her a break. I think she knew. I think she tried to get out of it, but she couldn't. So she went to the altar, hurt his feelings, because I thought it was just mean to go to the altar and say no.
But, she was throwing big hints there when she was standing outside the curtain before she walked down the aisle. Because I was like, oh, poor thing. Because like I said, she grew on me. I was like, she doesn't have any girlfriends there. She doesn't have flowers. There's no family. Let's get going. I don't need bridesmaids. I don't need family here. Because she made it short and sweet up there.
I think she knew way ahead of time. And she just did what she had to do contractually. I thought it was sad for him. But I think he knew. Because if a woman's into you, she's into you. She is going to be blind.
But I thought one of his smoothest moves talked on the opposite sides of the wall.
Yes.
That was so sweet. And I get that because I have a hard time talking to people face to face. So the wall thing would be perfect for me. What did you think of his suit and what did you think of her dress?
Her dress was gorgeous. I loved her dress. And I thought he was very handsome.
Yeah, I like the gray tie with the gray suit. He looked really nice.
Very classy.
Okay, are we ready to move on to Cameron and Lauren? I ended up thinking Cameron was hot. So good looking. He was just so calm. His complexion was just beautiful. He had flawless skin, soft spoken, but not shy. I just thought he was a cutie. I liked him a lot. He had a nice house. He had a nice car. He dressed right. He was just the whole package to me. Good job, everything. I loved him. Lauren was very sweet. I liked her. They truly seemed to be in love. They seemed to really hit it off. I think they could last. What do you think?
I had the same impression you did of Cameron. Really hot, smart, but what attracted me to him was how open he was with his feelings, how confident he was in what he wanted. And he could articulate it. Even when it was hard, he would, cry a little bit if he was emotional. But to me, that's a turn on. When somebody is that real, that authentic. And he put himself out there. He took a risk. He took a risk with Lauren, with the father. Cameron and the father were very much alike. And Lauren, I just loved her. She could handle a guy like him. That's not easy to do. A lot of women would be like, oh, you're a pussy. Burst the balls. Stop crying. She could hold a space open for that. I was just watching her reaction because at some points I would have just been laughing at the guy. I don't know. A little bit overwhelming for me for a guy to be that emotional. And I'm like, wow, how do you respond to that? And she's like, I love you too. She didn't really analyze it, or she just had very simple comebacks. But I think she was authentic as well. I think they're a great fit. Even though they're interracial and they're going to have struggles with that, I think they're a beautiful couple.
What did you think of her dress?
Both of them were stunning.
Well, I liked the dress. I didn't like the feather in the hair. No veil, but it was pretty. It's not my thing. It definitely wasn't like ugly or anything like that. It just was one of my least favorites, I'd say. But him, he looked like he should have been on GQ.
Definitely.
Loved it.
My favorite part of their wedding was her brother's reaction. He was so into it. He was sitting there looking at them the way I was.
I liked her mom. I thought her mom was real cute.
Love the mom.
Okay, what about Barnett and Amber? Barnett was very cute, but little immature for me. He is not as sophisticated as Cameron, but he was definitely cute. And Amber was very cute too. Very sweet, pretty full of energy. I think she was totally smitten by Barnett. And I was glad that she had opened up about her abortion. I thought that was smart to, come clean. And I thought he was very cute. When she was struggling with it, he's like, I know what you're saying. I know what you're trying to say. Like, you don't have to say it. Like, I got you. And that was sweet. She's free-spirited. They made a great couple, too. She will put him first. She will make sure he's happy. She's there for him. If they had kids stay home, she's just that, I'll take care of you completely. And Barnett seemed completely over Jessica. He did not seem to have any lingering feelings for her. So I think those two will make a great couple. I didn't like her style, the chokers and the floral dress and the jeans with the boots. But when it down to her getting dressed up, she nailed it. Like the dress she had when she very first met him couldn't have been more flattering for her figure. For someone that seemed kind of rough and tough and a little bit, tomboyish, The wedding dress was all glamorous. The hairstyle was glamorous. She looked great. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of fun. I would have expected the hair down, more simple dress than she had, but I thought she looked beautiful. She just is one of those people that is just happy all the time. I think they'll make it. So what do you think?
First of all, I think she is drop dead gorgeous. She is so beautiful. Her figure is beautiful, or her face, her skin, her hair. She's just gorgeous. Well, one of the red flags for me was she only worked 1 day a week and she was a couch surfer. She had $20,000 worth of school debt and some credit card debt because of buying too much makeup. When she's sitting on the counter telling him all this stuff, you could see that he was really disturbed. He was like, oh my God. And I don't know what he asked her in the pod, but you would think some of that would come out in the pod. They definitely had a connection. He's like, I don't really care. I think he made enough money for both of them, even though he said this is going to be a lot of pressure for me. And he said, I don't know what she does all day. You could tell the way he was saying it, it was in an endearing way, not like a red flag way, like, oh, she's just going to be a drain on me. But then I read later that she had a workman's comp case pending. And that's why she wasn't working. But they never said that. They made her look like lazy, but she wasn't. She just couldn't talk about her work. And you could tell she's been working her whole life, probably, because of her family situation or whatever. It's just the way they portrayed her was not the true Amber. I mean, everybody has school loans. It would have been nice if she graduated. Like, that's what I would say to her as her mom. Maybe you want to get the degree since you have the debt. Finish what you started. With Barnett, I could tell was very intelligent. He didn't come across that way because he's so immature. When guys struggle with a commitment, it's not that they don't want to make a commitment. It's that when they do make a commitment, they're going to stick to their word no matter what. And I could see him in the pod with that struggle. He did not want to make a mistake. When Amber was asking him, well, what are you going to say to your parents? Are you going to be able to stick up for me? And he honestly said, I don't know. I think he was a lot deeper than what they portrayed. And she was just so silly. She didn't really draw him out. She didn't really bring him out. His serious business side, let's say. She brought out the inner partier, the silly, immature little boy, not the mature businessman, family man. She never drew that out. We never got to see it, but I knew that it was in there. I could just tell by his struggle in the pod, his struggle answering her.
That's a good observation because I didn't pick up on that till you just saying it now. So yeah, I see that now.
And I think that's the person that Jessica touched. She could get to his serious side when she had those 2 discussions with him at the bar. It wasn't all silly, laughing, playing beer pong. They were sitting quietly having a serious discussion. And I think that's what attracted Jessica to him. She was a little bit more mature, a little bit more of a business person, but he didn't want that. He wanted crazy. Guys love crazy. They love the Ambers. They're always going to pick the Amber first over logical businesswoman. Like you, I think he was so cute. I just loved his smile. I thought he was really handsome. Handsome in his suit, handsome in his shorts. I think they're going to make a great couple. I think they'll stay together. I think they're compatible and they'll make it work. They'll be able to work through whatever struggles they have.
I agree. I think they're going to make it too.
Okay, so who's next?
Damian and Gigi. I have mixed feelings about him. I didn't know if she was going to be 100% attracted to him because I thought she was really pretty. Well, cute, very cute. When she saw him, she was like, oh, you're so strong. And he was, he had the big arms that wrapped around her. He was a nice big guy, nice dance. I liked his build and everything. His personality made him cuter than my first impression of him. I don't know about him. Like, the more I think about him, he said things like he meant it, but then soon as things weren't right, or I don't know how to explain it. I have mixed emotions about him, but he seemed to be all in until he wasn't in, I guess is the best way to explain it. I'm ready to leave. You're going to lose me. And then for that, he was promising, I'll love you forever. I'll always love you. I'll take care of you. You say that now, you just met. I mean, it's one thing to fall in love and just meet, but to make these long-term promises, you just don't, I don't know, it just seems unreal. Like, that would be a red flag to me. Thought it was real dirty that he did that beautiful date at the end. He really got her to buy in 100% after she was honest and said, I don't have butterflies anymore. I thought she was very honest. And he went all in, turned it back around, and then left her at the altar. I thought that was dirty. I thought her mom made it worse. If I was her mom, I would not have said those things to my daughter. I wish you had said no first. I would, you know what I mean? Like, this is mortifying, was kind of how I felt the mom felt. That to me would have made it more embarrassing for my daughter. I think he was more concerned about his family not being there too. I think that may have played into it. I ended up not liking him so much after that. Now, Gigi, I thought was real cute. She never seemed 100% authentic. I don't know if it was her voice or if it was the way she said things. Like at the end when he left her at the altar and then they were having a conversation and she goes, we're going to sit down and talk about this right now. It just seemed fake. Just the way she talked seemed fake. Her emotions behind the words. Like they were just words with no emotion behind it to me. But I thought she was real cute.
So here's my analysis. I think Damon was really one of these super, super sensitive guys who probably came from a family of logical, rational communicators who did not talk down to each other, who did not yell, who did not show any emotion, explosive emotion, overwhelming emotions. I just don't think they were compatible in that way. I don't think that he could handle her little mini meltdowns. And she said things that were hurtful. He said, you're the best sex I ever had. And she goes, did you remember I didn't answer you? I didn't say that back. When you say that to a man, you might as well just cut his dick off.
Especially on TV, especially with the cameraman there.
Right. That was so hurtful. That just crushed him. He handled it well. And then when she was so disrespectful to him in front of the other couples, she say, dear God, shut the fuck up. I mean, you don't talk like that to your man. You don't ever put your man down in public. So those two things that she did right there, I think were the deal breakers for him. He just could not recover. And he tried. He tried to tell her, you talk down to me. She just kept talking over him. She wouldn't even listen to him. She didn't say, you're right, I'm sorry, I was having a mini meltdown. That was so wrong. I will never do that again. I know that I hurt you. She never came back and said, that was the best sex I've ever had. I think I was drunk all the other times, and that's why it wasn't so good. She never recovered. He never recovered. If you're a guy, I think he really did genuinely want to take care of her. He wanted to love her. I think he did love her. But after she crushed his heart and cut his dick off, he never recovered.
After she did what?
She crushed his heart and cut his dick off. He just never recovered. He's like, I can't marry this girl.
Right.
This is going to be my life. And some guys can just go into a shell and ignore it. And they're like, oh, she's so hot. I love her blonde hair. I love her boobs in bed. And I'll put up with anything. There's guys like that. But he just couldn't.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark would have. Mark would have been okay with it. He just was too sensitive.
I love your analysis. They're so much more sophisticated than mine. That's so funny. Yeah, you're right. He probably did come from a family that communicated a lot better. Our family communicated like hers. What the? What the?
Yeah. My family, we had zero communication. We would just look the other way.
Yeah, we were pretty blunt.
I think a window into his family was when the family said, we don't want to meet her. We don't want to meet a hoe from a reality TV show. That tells me they're very sophisticated, professional, and they're not going to put themselves in that position to be embarrassed.
Now, that kind of irked me because I'm like, okay, so what's that make your son? Is he a hoe on a reality TV show? I just thought that was nasty, especially towards her. If that makes her a hoe, it makes him a hoe.
Yeah, I don't know. When he was on the boat and he was saying how concerned he was that he took too much leave from his job, he doesn't know if he has a job, she wasn't compassionate at all. A normal woman would have said, oh, wow, you might lose your job because of this, because of me?
It wasn't her.
I know, but she wasn't, oh, that's a sacrifice. You really put yourself out there. I can see why you're concerned. Something. Like, yeah, right. Babe, I know, I can see that that's bothering you. We'll get through it together. Something. But she wasn't. She just poo-pooed it. She was not a good fit for him. She's a good person. I think she's cute and funny and smart, all of that, but just not a good fit for him.
Okay. What did you think of her dress and his outfit?
I thought they were both stunning. I thought she was just beautiful.
Yeah, I thought it was real sweet. She almost looked like a storybook princess. Kenny and Kelly, who I think if they take DNA tests, they might find out they're brother and sister. And all I could think of is when I saw Kenny is peaches and cream. His complexion, real nice complexion. There was something like that kind of didn't sit well with me with him. Just a gut feeling I have. But if I were to push that aside, I thought he was great. He wouldn't have been my go-to look, like dark hair, like Kelly. But he was sweet. He was nice. The way he handled her walking away was just, wow. What a guy. He was so nice and so sweet. And I remember him walking into the bathroom when they were staying in the hotel for vacation. He's like, you can have my password to my phone, or you can have all that stuff. And I just thought that was so cute. You can have my password. You can look at my stuff. He's really offering something. I have no secrets. You can have this stuff if you want it. Just as he's walking to the bathroom, he was just a nice guy. I think he knew what he wanted. I think he was a great guy. I liked his suit. And I thought it was real sweet. Just telltale signs that he was secure with himself and not needy was when they separated at the airport and then she called him at home. They talked for a little bit and he's like, well, okay, well, I'll let you go. He wasn't like, I'll talk to whenever she wants to say goodbye. Yeah, he was just confident. He didn't have to be with her and talk with her all night long and everything like that. He was just mature. So I liked him. I liked her. I thought it was hilarious. I think the sister fell in love with him.
Oh, my God. I know.
I think the mom sister wanted to wring her neck. Did you see the mom go?
I love this guy.
Yeah, I think the sister was hilarious, trying to tell her in a nice way without ever hearing this in the future. You're the one that told me to do it. Yeah. I think she tried to say everything she could without saying do it.
Your picker is bad?
Yeah, right. You got a bad picker. But she was like, you've never brought anyone home like this. This guy is great. But go with your gut. I think she completely missed the boat on that. I think she was still in love with her ex-boyfriend. I think that was clouding her judgment. But I'm hoping to hear that those two did get back together. And he was, like I said, at the end, he was so nice. What did he say? Like, she's nervous. This doesn't mean,
It's not our time. Today's
Yeah.
not our day or something. The parents were like these 60s flower children.
Oh, that was the other thing.
Do you think they did a wife swap? The parents?
Right. Yeah, maybe. Backing of both parents. I mean, they had everything, the support of them. She really, really missed out.
I would have slept with the guy. You're in Mexico. You're in a bed. He's gorgeous. Find out.
You know what's so funny? This is my old age talking, I guess. I'm like, come on, man. All these people that are getting together, one night stands and stuff like that. So what if you get married? You can get divorced. Just get divorced.
It's expensive, though, as you know.
I don't know about that early on. They could probably get it annulled.
I thought she was into him, and she was waiting for the wedding to have sex. And I thought, that's going to be really hot, passionate sex. That's really smart if she can do that. But maybe she found out he didn't have the assets that she needs to be satisfied.
It had to be the ex-boyfriend. She said she was infatuated with the ex-boyfriend, but she wasn't infatuated with this guy.
Well, that's what they were saying. Is this love? Is it lust? What is it? Why are you going on a dating experiment marriage show if you're still into your ex?
Well, I think she thought she was going to feel something stronger than she felt for her ex, and it wasn't stronger, but it could have been.
Yeah.
They had a good foundation. She should have gone for it. I hope we find out that they're back.
Well, this would be a good time to say on March 5th, they're going to have a reunion show on YouTube. All right. Who haven't we talked about?
Carlton and Damian. I had an inkling that he was bi or gay when the guys were assisting each other doing push-ups. He looked awfully excited. So I didn't necessarily think bisexual or gay, but I just thought he seems awfully excited. Spoiler alert, if you guys haven't watched, he is bisexual and has had a relationship with the male and female. That should have come out in the pod. It seemed like he had a whole nother personality outside that pod. He asked Damian to be his wife. She accepted. And then he came clean while they were on vacation. And he was so dramatic. I think he has a lot of emotional problems. That's just my opinion. Because just come out with it. I mean, this stuff is acceptable nowadays. The way he was acting was more troublesome than him being bisexual. That was the red flag for me. I thought he was very catty, and there's nothing more unattractive than a catty guy. She left, needed time to process it, and she did nothing wrong, said nothing wrong when she came back. And he created it into a fight and insulting her. He was strange. How can you turn that around on her? And then when he got catty about her wig, I was like, ew. I did not like him at all. And I think she'd made the right decision.
This might be something we actually agree on. My impression of him from the very beginning was he was a very needy attention whore.
I love your candidness, Carol.
If I was in the pod with him and we made this connection, I think you're right. He should not have withheld that information. But if he told me I'm bi, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would be like, that's fine. I don't really have a problem with it. I wish he would have been more upfront. But he was such a drama queen. Mm-hmm. Who wants to be married to a drama queen? Me. I broke a fingernail today. Here she is, a beautiful person inside and out. And, you're not paying attention to my broken fingernail. I'm going to throw a dagger at you. Your wig is crooked. That is so immature. Who acts like that? You have issues. Go to therapy. You need a lot of attention. You're not so eccentric. So you're bi. There's a lot of bi people. If you can satisfy her in bed, that's all that matters. That's it. It doesn't really matter what your preferences are. Everybody has kinky, weird things. Just be upfront about it. Yeah, he was just a drama queen with issues.
Yeah, I think she dodged a bullet.
She did the right thing. And I wonder if once you said I do, you had to go to the altar. But that was so glaring. They just let it go.
That's right.
It was about him. If he could have picked himself to marry and proposed to himself and did the whole show about him and himself, I think he could have pulled it off. Yeah, it was sad for her. Well, the one thing that I noticed in this show was none of the couples really knew how to communicate when it got difficult. They're talking over each other. They're attacking each other. Does anybody know actually how to communicate?
Well, you're an exceptional communicator. I was just telling someone this weekend how you communicate at home and stuff. And, it was my son, because we're going to go out of town and I got this from you. What are your expectations? What is it you want to do there? Get our stuff done that we want to do. Go see what we want to see. So I picked that up from you. Just your observations with these couples are good. They weren't good communicators, but I think you're exceptional.
That's many years of therapy. I have the talking stick. Don't talk over me.
They weren't good communicators.
And that's where she was a really good analyzer too. She could hone right in. She had really good intuition.
Gigi?
Yeah. Damon was in a shell. You don't crawl in the shell and cut his dick off. You bring him out slowly. But she was very intuitive.
I mean, yeah, she shouldn't have talked like that. But like I said, we're not a big family of communicators. And when we do communicate, we're not sophisticated. I think she called him a mother effer.
For the love of God, shut the fuck up.
She's honest. That's when you better show your true colors. If that's how you talk, you don't want to get him to the altar and then get home. You don't want to be there and go, honey, can we discuss this later? And then you get married and you go, damn it, shut the fuck up. And him go, what? So, I hand it to her for being that authentic. Yeah. That was her. That's how she talks.
I know. But she was very intuitive and she could pick up on things that were bothering him. I give her credit for that. It's what you do with that information.
She's young. She's 25. Teaching me how to be a better communicator at my age. You know what I mean? You never stop learning. And he could have helped her with that. He could have made her a more sophisticated communicator. That's the whole point, right? You find each other now and make each other better people. Okay, so it seemed like this show was a big hit. And would you watch season 2?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. If you were young and single, do you give this show a try?
My 25-year-old self was so pathetic. I was probably as messed up as Carlton. I just had no confidence. I had no idea what I was doing. Very shy, would not take a risk, would be in a shell. Would I do it now? With everything I know now? Yeah, that would be really fun. But I don't think my 25-year-old self could handle it. What about you?
I think I was much more conservative then. Knowing what I know now, hell yeah, I'd do it. Why not? Weirder things have happened. And you can know people for 5 years before you marry them, and then you marry them and 6 months later you're divorced. It doesn't matter. The time doesn't matter. It's the person. Will they change? Will they not change? Will they become a better person? Will they become a worse person? Time has nothing to do with it. I think it's what life presents to people that make them change. I think it's the bottom line is it doesn't have anything to do with time.
Well, I think what you want to see is the person's shadow. The all lovey-dovey, I'll take care of you, I'm so hot, let's go on a date, let's ride on a boat. That's not what divorces people. Let me see your shadow. Let me see your dark side. And then I know if I can work with you or not. I think that's where time is on your side. It allows the shadow to come out. You're going to be on your best behavior in the short amount of time.
Yeah.
Still think you can work with the shadow. You're going to work with the shadow at some point. So just reveal that so you know what it is. Gigi, her shadow had this temper and this explosive emotional personality. But she showed it, like you said, and he could have worked with it. He could have said, go have your meltdown and then come back. Or don't talk to me when you're melting down. It hurts too much. But if you're going to marry that person in a short amount of time and then they show their shadow, you have to work with it. And do you want to? So for Carlton, his shadow was, I'm not going to be honest up front, and I have secrets. What other secrets did he have? What other things was he not being honest about? Okay, that's the shadow. That's what I have to deal with now. Do I want to? No, I'm going to get a divorce. Do I love the light enough to work with the shadow? You stay married. I mean, that's basically kind of in a nutshell how it works. And that's why these arranged marriages, they work really well. Because the parents know the light and the shadow. And they know if it's a good fit or not, the dark side. And do you want to deal with it or not? That's what it comes down to. The light, the love, of course. It's easy to love somebody's light. It's easy to make a connection to that part of the person. It would be fun to be in the experiment and have the little notebook with the questions and try and analyze each guy and find my connection. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think it would be too.
So do you think you would be a Kelly and find your perfect match and walk away from it?
Probably.
You'd have to let me be your picker.
I won't commit to getting a hotel room till I know that we're almost there. So I think I would be all gung-ho, and then when the time came, I'd be like, oh.
You'd be saying to the guy, go make me some Jiffy Pop and let me think about this for a minute. And if he brought the popcorn back, you'd be like, okay, I can work with this guy.
Do you like Jiffy Pop and Bacardi and Coke? You like sleeping in on the weekends?
That would be your pod conversation.
If I tell you to floor it and get home immediately, would you stop at the stop signs?
Or would you just hand me a pea cup?
Yeah. Would you still love me when I'm walking knock-kneed to the bathroom?
If I dribble on the way to the bathroom.
Yeah. Could you imagine having it for older people? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you pee your pants?
When you drop a pill, do you just take another one out of the bottle or do you crawl around on the carpet and try and find it? Not for you, but because the dog might get to it.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Do you want your back scratched at random times because it itches at random times for no reason? I swear to God, every night at 8:35, I need someone to scratch my back. It's like, what the hell is going on?
All right, Cheryl.